What's up guys, today we are back at TeamSport Cardiff for another session, but this is actually a 3 for 2, not a race academy session, which these 3 for 2s, the grid member 3 for 2s on a Monday night are much more aggressive and much more, well, just much more aggressive. So there are like 4 people who are quicker than me, and I know that they're quicker than me, so I do let quite a few people by on this session. I did also meet some new people actually, who I've never actually really met them before. And yeah, we just got onto the track, and you can see here I got bored on the yellows, so I started believing that I was a bird. I started flying with one hand. And these yellows did stay on for quite a long time, I believe, because someone left the pit lane without being checked that they could actually press the brakes, which the marshals actually have to do. If they don't do that, it's they can't really start the session. So we finally get going now after I guess they checked that person because they just left, really. And I also had pops coming from the back of my car, which you might have heard from the start of the session. And turns out that's normal. I haven't really ever had that before, where the car just starts popping like it's in some sort of Tokyo Drift movie. And then we went reds here, which was very nice. I'd stuck myself on the barrier by accident. I tried to fix myself up for the corner, but instead I put myself on the barrier, which wasn't too good. As you can see, it took me a second to get away there. And we're straight back onto greens. And because this is a 3 for 2, this is quite a long session, so that's why this video is pretty long. I believe the first session is about 30 minutes long, and then the last one is 15 minutes, like a normal session would be. So you're getting 15, 15 and 15, but they just squeeze the first 2 into one because it's much easier. And because this is a grid members session, it can be more aggressive. Like I said earlier, it's like there are like at least 2 people I know, at least 3 people I know who are quicker than me on the track, so you might see me letting quite a few people by. Just because I'm mainly here to get times in, not really for position, because this isn't really a race, to be honest. So you can see here I'm just by myself on track at this rate, and I'm kind of waiting because I believe one of the people who are quicker than me are somewhere behind me. I'm not exactly sure where, but they are somewhere back there. So I was just kind of waiting to see when they were going to catch up to me so I could just squeeze them by, or let them by. Not sure what you want to call it. I did actually get a pretty good kart this session because I believe I had... Which kart did I have? I believe I had kart number 8, and then he swapped, and then I asked him if he could swap kart number 8 with kart number 14, but then turns out kart number 14 was broken, so I had to then go back into my normal kart. But this kart was fine, it was actually really quick. It had a bit of grip problems, I couldn't really find that much grip, especially in the downstairs section. But other than that, it had a lot of speed. It was pretty quick, which was very nice. I will be honest, these two sessions, this session that I did was pretty boring. You know, there wasn't really much going on except for me just driving. So I hope you guys enjoy the driving part of this. You get to see what mistakes I make and how non-consistent I am, which is lovely. I was pretty quick through there. Almost nailed the braking then. That wasn't too bad. That wasn't bad either. Now quick. Nope, just decided not to do it that time. I did not whip the cart around the corner. I just drove it through like any car, like you would with any car, I guess. Pretty boring. Oh well. You know, these sessions are like, they're not like the normal TeamSport public session, just because obviously they are grid members, so pretty much you never really get a yellow on this track unless something just really unexpected happens. But you know, it's at this point we would have had at least maybe like 5 yellows if it was a public session, like a normal two session public or public session, but it was just not. You know, it just doesn't happen on these. The yellows don't normally go on. It's not really a normal thing anymore. So we pretty much had 30 minutes of just full racing, which, you know, it is nice, but it's also not the best when you can't really find anyone. But now I have seen these guys ahead of me, who, not really sure who they are, to be honest. Didn't really know who everyone was, so just met maybe one person. But now I'm pretty sure I can see the people behind me. 2 of the people, or 1 of the people behind me, I know for sure is a lot quicker than me. So I think in the next lap or 2, I'd actually do let him by, just because I don't want to, you know, risk or run the risk of anything crazy happening. Yeah, I believe that's one of the quickest in the whole session. Yeah. Now you can see he just flies around the corners like it's nothing, which I still don't understand how they can rotate the cart so well, because when I try it just doesn't really want to, well, rotate, to be honest. You can see now I'm actually getting pretty close, because obviously he's in battle with this guy, so he's slowing him down, the guy 2 carts ahead of me. I'm not sure what cart that is, but... And then he just sneakily goes for a little move down the inside and he gets him nice and easy. So now he's just going to gap us. And then this guy thankfully let me through. Although I'm not really sure what the need was, because he's still gonna, you know, the cart ahead of me is still just gonna absolutely be gone in the span of like a lap. I just don't understand how he is so quick. You know, he just doesn't. It's just like he doesn't slow down. He don't make any mistakes. I've also been jumping through edit softwares for like so long now, trying to find which software would be the best. So I've basically I've edited the video on Insta360 because that's what I'm taking it on. I've taken the video on an Insta360, and then I've brought the video over to CapCut, and I'm doing the voiceover on CapCut. So it's like I've got like a whole process now. It's kind of crazy. But this actually works, and I'm kind of hoping that you can actually hear me well. If you can't, then well, you can't, but if you can, then I guess you can, which would be good, or else I'd have to mute the video again like last time, because the last time I tried to use something, it did not work at all. It was horrible, if I'm being honest. So here we finally catch up to some people, and it's not, I'm not alone. So we're finally catching up to someone. I don't actually remember what overtake this was, but I know there was an overtake which was pretty difficult, because there is a guy in the session who defends like it's for position, he's defending really hard for no reason really. Yeah. So yeah, we finally catch up to this guy, and I'm assuming that he's slower than the guys ahead of him, because, well, he is kind of dropping back a bit. And this might be the guy who I was talking about just a second ago, who defends like it's for the life of him, Or it could be a different guy. I'm not even sure, to be honest. I'm completely clueless. I think it's him though. I accidentally went a bit too wide there, but we still didn't get a bad exit, so I didn't completely lose him. And then I believe here is where I actually got pretty close, and yes, it is the guy who defends like hell, but luckily we got past him pretty easy. Might give us a bump or two, because he does do that, or we might try to go for a gap that doesn't exist. And there are those people, you just don't really know what to do, if you should go for a move or not, because you don't know if they're just going to shut the door on you completely. So it is a bit risky to go for a move when you're not really sure what the person's going to do, which is why I didn't exactly go for a dive bomb on that person behind me now, who was in front of me on the down ramp, which I probably could have made a dive bomb, but it might have not ended too well, which is why I didn't obviously do it, because they don't have mirrors, they can't see behind them unless they physically turn their head completely, which you don't normally do in karting that much, to be completely honest. And then, oh no, it's this guy actually. I was wrong. It's this guy who defends like hell. And you can see here he just kind of kind of just shuts the door completely. It wasn't, that was my mistake, it wasn't the guy back there who I overtook on the up ramp, it was this guy now. Well, I go for a gap here, and I believe I actually kind of, yeah, I did give him a bit of a tap, and I was thinking to myself, now what is he doing? You know, he just pushed me straight into the apex, and then he's kind of just going for a gap which doesn't exactly exist. Because, you know, if you do go for that and it doesn't go your way, then I'll end up sideways in the barrier, and it's not, you know, it's not nice at all to be going sideways into the barrier without being able to do anything, because the downstairs section is so slippery. It's just, you're literally helpless, because you see the barrier and then you're like, yeah, that's it, I'm done. I'll give it to him though, he has got good defending. It's just that, you know, he's very, like, he can be a bit too aggressive with it sometimes. You know, you can sometimes just close the gap completely, even when you're literally alongside him, or even just a bit ahead of him. You know, I do sometimes look at these laps as I'm recording, like, videos, as I'm doing the voiceover, and I'm thinking to myself, how did I get a 37? Oh, we got our first yellow of the session. Yeah, I remember this, where this was. Slow down, weave myself in between, and somebody's gone head first into the barrier. But, you know, it's not difficult to do it on that part of the track, but it also isn't that difficult, to be honest with you. It also is pretty difficult, sorry. It's just that it's difficult to do it exactly where they've done it. Doing it a bit earlier on that corner, sure, but I feel like that's a bit of an odd place to somehow spin yourself sideways into the barrier. Oh well. Happens to all of us. If you get pushed, or if you just do it yourself, it happens to everyone. It's literally the way of karting. And then here, this is the kid in the Alpine Stars. This is the kid who I actually met there. I was speaking with him a bit, and then I believe I let him by here. Yeah. I wanted to try and follow his line, but I don't really think it was possible, to be honest with you, because just I don't really get how you can just put the car into the corner like that, I'm going to be honest. And then if you're wondering what just happened, I'm going to be brutally honest, I don't know either. I don't know why my video just decided to not record there, but it just decided to not record. Yeah, so I just, you know, it wasn't a new lap, it literally just lost the right-hand corner, the quick right-hander, which it wasn't anything special, it was just normal right-hander, to be honest. I feel like it is a pretty big gamble with most of these carts, because a lot of them could be like, you know, really quick, but then, you know, the car that you get in the next session could be just slow, like slow as hell, just no nothing, you know, the brakes are horrible, just everything. Because there are some carts like that where the brakes just feel like they're not actually working at all. But luckily I got a good car, and I got it for both of the sessions. I got it for this 30-minute one and the 15-minute one after, which, you know, it's good, because that's pretty lucky to get the same car for both sessions. Which I'm not really sure how that even happens, because I'm pretty sure they're all randomized, but I guess that works. And I also believe this guy ahead of me is a bit slower, which, well, he probably is since I caught up to him. I'm not actually sure who it is though. I think I've seen him getting ready to get in the cart, but I don't think I don't actually know who it is exactly. Maybe I do, I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. And then he nicely lets me by, which is very kind of him. And, you know, if you're wondering why there's someone waiting on the side, they do that sometimes, just to, you know, you can do that in the grid members. When I say can, I say grid member sessions only, really, because it's not really a good idea to do it in a public session. I'll probably put on the yellow wondering what you're doing. But on these grid member sessions, they do it just because, you know, they might want to wait for someone who's a bit slower than them, and, you know, they're just waiting for them to catch back up, because when you see a come back and, you know, they've just disappeared, they're gone. And now I've got a bit of a train behind me, to be honest. I'm not really sure who's in that train, but you can see me looking back, wondering what is behind me. And then I believe I see one of the kids who is quicker than me, so I'm actually probably going to let that person by as well. Just because I don't want to get any, like, I don't want to get into a, I don't know what you'd call them, battles, there you go. Yeah, battle, we'll just call it a battle. I don't want to get in a bit of a scrum or a battle with someone. halfway through a timed race, you know, which doesn't really have much to do with positions. So, you know, very kindly let them by. I definitely did not lose control there. I definitely just let them by. No way I would just lose control of that, you know. That was not my plan at all, if I'm being honest. I was going to let them by after, but I just lost it into the corner anyways. I believe I finished maybe 8th on this session. I'm not really sure if that has to do with timing of like how long it took you to finish the session, or just who came into the pit lane first or whatever. I'm not really sure what they call it, but yeah, it wasn't bad. It was actually a pretty good session, to be fair. It wasn't a bad time at all. I think I did maybe a 38.5, which isn't bad compared to the like 36 point something that the quickest person on the grid did, which is actually the guy in a full black suit with a white helmet. I believe it's a Bell helmet, but you know, if someone's wearing a Bell helmet, you might as well just let them by, because the chance of them being quicker than you are literally probably higher than 99%. You know, anyone with a Bell helmet is the quickest on the track. And then we finish here, go on to the yellows, and then next session now, which I actually believe had the same problem as earlier, which happened where, you know, I was going and then the video just cut off, and we were waiting on the track. I hit that by accident, by the way. I hit that apex completely by accident. I'm not even sure where I was looking. But yeah, we were waiting on the track there because they were going to let us go like one by one and have a bit of a gap between each other, I guess. But I'm not really sure what the point in that is, because I'm just going to go a tiny bit quicker on the yellows. Maybe I can catch up. It's pretty easy, you know. It's not difficult as long as you get the right gap. Looks a bit chaotic in it ahead of me, but I believe the guy all the way on the left is, again, he's the quickest one out of the whole group, so he's probably just going to squeeze his way by nice and easy with literally zero difficulty. And now I'm just looking for a way to get past, but we go on reds, which is lovely, then yellows. I kind of give this guy a bit of a push, to be honest. Because he wasn't, I think he was looking somewhere else when the yellows went on. And then I accidentally gave him a bit of a bump, which, you know, my fault. Didn't mean to do that, kind of locked up the brakes. And believe it or not, I actually went for a move down the inside, which I don't normally do, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't normally get the chance to go for a move, or I just don't do it because I don't want to risk getting shoved into a barrier. Or, you know, flung out the cart, because that does happen. Obviously there are no seat belts. Why would you need seat belts in a go-kart? And then this guy behind me is also quicker than me, so I believe I let him by. And he was actually saying that his kart wasn't that good, but I'm not really sure if I believe him now, because you can see now he just He is much quicker than me. He is much quicker than me. I know that. But you know, he said that his kart was bad and my car's really good, and I could barely even, you know, get him on the straights. And I kind of lost it into that corner. I'm not really sure what I did. I think I pressed on the brakes too early, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. And then we go on to yellows, which I'm not sure why, but we do. I don't think this is very long. It can't be the end of the session. We only started a minute ago. These were actually pretty long yellows. There you go. We're finally done. After like a minute and a half of waiting. I also may or may not upload the videos from the week before because I couldn't edit them last week. I was busy, but I will try and upload them tomorrow, as I've pretty much got a whole free day, to be honest. I got one lesson of school, that's it, and I'm pretty much free for the whole day. I also luckily did not have a mentor meeting today for some reason. My mentor just didn't show up, or the meeting didn't work. I'm not really sure why, but yeah, so I got to editing this instead. This video of 44 minutes of just absolute boredom, to be honest with you. It's not really, I should have cut out half of this, but I can't really be bothered. I got stuff to do today. Plus I should probably lock in a bit for my, yes, I've got to lock in, guys. I've actually got to lock in for my exams this year, or else we are genuinely cooked if I don't lock in. Although I might actually get past English, to be fair. Although who doesn't get past English? Probably one of the easiest lessons of the whole GCSE. Or lessons, whatever you call it, the whole GCSE. Out of the whole GCSE, English is one of the easiest ones. But you know, if the GCSEs don't work, YouTube hopefully got me. Hopefully. I gotta find a way to edit these videos better. I just can't find the software for it. Might as well just get an editor for this rate. Although I'm not really sure how easy it is to edit go-kart videos. Might as well go into gaming videos instead. Do like some Forza Motorsport or something. I don't even know. Or do podcasts. Maybe I'll do like Rocket League videos, that could work. You guys can see how horrible I am at Rocket League and watch me absolutely get rage baited by it too. I swear that's probably the worst game ever. It takes about 20 years to learn how to do 5 things. And because Epic owns it, it's already horrible. Same with Fortnite. I will never be playing Fortnite my whole life again. I'm not sure why I haven't uninstalled it. Now this second session is only about 15 minutes long, so it is much shorter. But we still do have a minute or two. A few minutes until we're to the end of it. At this rate, I could have let this play and just gone and started drilling stuff downstairs. I've been trying to drill stuff for my sim setup because I can't figure out how to get this thing to, well, work. It's pretty difficult, to be honest with you. It's not easy. I don't know who designed this, but it's not very smart. Oh, I can't wait for next week, because then I finally get to go go-karting with my friend who's at a similar level as me. He's a similar level as me, if he's not in a monster of a car, since he weighs like some Jesus, like hell of a amount less than me. He weighs like a lot, which I still don't understand how he weighs that much. But anyways, if he's there next week, I might actually have someone to battle with, and then it will be an entertaining video. Yay! I also actually need like a second opinion on this. Do I get, for my birthday, do I get a new race helmet with actual decals and not just yellow, like not just fluoro yellow like mine now, which is literally the only different colours is the air vents, which are obviously black? Or do I get a Moser base, a Moser wheelbase? That's the thing with the Moser wheelbase, I still have to wait until I can actually afford the wheel itself. But I'll still be stuck on the Logitech until I can save up like 300 quid, however much it even is for a wheel. So I still don't know why the wheels are so expensive. I mean, it's literally a wheel. I don't see what. It's a big wheel, sure, but it can't be that expensive. It's like £300 for a pretty basic wheel. It's just a round thing with a few buttons on it. Moser is pretty expensive, but very good. Well, I could actually get a Sim Magic, to be fair. I'm not really sure. I haven't really looked into those that much, but they sound pretty good, apparently. But my only problem is that with the Sim Magic, I don't know how well it'll fit onto my what do you call it? My actual rig itself, because I know that the Moser will fit on the rig because it's literally made for a Moser. This, I mean, they're in partnered with Moser. GT Omega is partnered with Moser, so apparently it should ideally fit perfectly. It'll be lined up nice, because we had to actually drill holes in the bottom of this one so I could actually get this on, so I could actually get my Sim Magic pedals on. But obviously, if you were to be using, I don't know, like I forgot what you call it now. Moser. If you were to be using a Moser like M Booster or something, it probably fit fine. You probably have no difficulty. And I also hear they are actually going to release a motion sim rig, or they're going to. I'm not exactly sure but you're only buying the actual motion bits themselves. You're only buying the actual motion motors. You don't actually get the rig, so I'm not really sure what rig they go on, but it looks pretty cool. And apparently it can be used on, like, it can even be used on GTA or something, or like any game. That you can use a controller, you know, you can use it without a wheel or anything, and it'll move with the game. Apparently, like when you shoot a rocket, you feel the explosion. I'm not actually sure who that is. Don't think I saw him on the first session, but he's pretty quick, I'll be honest. He's not bad. But yeah, that motion thing from Moser, I think OC Racing, he did a review on it. You guys might want to go check that out. It's literally just OC and then just racing. He should come up. It's actually a really good video, to be fair. You should go watch it. It's not bad. And you know, he's used it, and he's actually shown how with a controller you can have nothing on it, and as long as you're playing like GTA 5, it'll actually feel the explosion. It actually moves with the explosion because it uses some sort of AI. And I believe we are finishing in a lap or two. In the next lap, maybe, something like that. Not exactly sure. I hope. I don't know. I'm completely clueless, to be honest with you. I'm also going to go eat after this because I am starving. I'm like literally dying. When are these yellows going to come on? I'm so confused. Surely it's next lap, right? Have I messed up this recording? Because we're on 42 minutes of 44 minutes and the flags haven't come out, unless I've cut it really early. I might have just cut it really early. I'm gonna have to try and time this perfectly. You see, I let these two by because I know they are much quicker than me. And they've actually been glued to each other the whole race, I'm guessing. I mean, look at them, they're just not... It's literally, they've got the exact same pace. I believe it's actually a she and a he, so whoever's in front of me, if it is, I believe it's a girl, she's glued to the back of him. She's not a, you know, no, what do you want to call it? I forgot what you call it now. I'm gonna have to time this outro perfectly. Hopefully, at least, if I get this. Right, so he's waving the flag. Waving the flag, we'll wait. Hold on. I'm gonna get this perfectly. Right, I'm gonna start now. Yeah, outro time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, obviously. Who doesn't say that this day? And go check out my other videos, because I really want to get 1,000 subscribers, then I can start getting paid. And yeah, that's it. I guess see you next video then. Maybe tomorrow, I don't know.